We trust scientists to push the boundaries of knowledge. We trust them to protect us. But what happens when the pursuit of truth turns into a nightmare? Behind the classified stamps and the top secret folders lie experiments so dark, so unethical, that they were hidden from the public for decades. Today, we are opening the files that were never meant to see the light of day. From the theft of human remains to the psychological breaking of children, here are 4 forbidden experiments that were hidden from us. Shout out 1. Project Sunshine. The year is 1953. The Cold War is at its peak and the world is terrified of the atomic bomb. But while the public looked at the mushroom clouds, the government was hiding a secret mission. Project Sunshine. They realized that every nuclear blast released strontium-90, a radioactive isotope that mimics calcium and settles straight into human bones. To study its effects, they needed samples, and they decided the best ones were the fast-growing bones of infants and children. But they didn't ask for permission. A global network was established to recruit fresh bodies. Across the US, Europe, and Australia, doctors were instructed to harvest limbs, ribs, and spines from deceased babies during routine autopsies, without ever telling the grieving parents. In one secret meeting, a high-ranking official famously said, "I don't know how to get them, but we need them, and we need the ones that are fresh." Over 1,500 samples were collected, cremated, and turned into data points. For decades, families buried empty coffins, never knowing their children had become property of the state. To the monster study. In 1939, at the University of Iowa, Dr. Wendell Johnson decided to prove that a disability isn't something you are born with. It's something you can be tortured into developing. He chose 22 innocent orphans who had no one to protect them. They were split into 2 groups. One received positive encouragement, but the other was subjected to psychological warfare. This became known as the monster study. For 6 months, researchers belittled these children. Every time they spoke, they were shamed and told they were monsters who couldn't speak correctly. The results were devastating. Children who had perfectly normal speech before the study became so terrified that they stopped speaking altogether. They developed deep-seated anxiety and permanent speech impediments that haunted them for the rest of their lives. The study was so unethical, it was kept secret for over 60 years, only coming to light when the university finally apologized in 2001. 3. The Kola super-deep borehole. In 1970, Soviet scientists in the Kola Peninsula decided to dig the deepest hole on Earth. For 24 years, they drilled 12.2 kilometers down, reaching temperatures of 180 degrees Celsius. But as they descended, the project shifted from science to pure terror. Legend says they lowered ultra-sensitive microphones into the depths to record tectonic plates. But what they heard instead was the sound of millions of human voices screaming in collective agony. These sounds from hell sent shockwaves through the camp. While official reports claim the project closed due to extreme heat, the site was abandoned in a hurry, leaving behind a rusted ruin. Today, a heavy metal cap is bolted to the floor, sealing the hole shut. Locals still claim that if you press your ear to the metal, you can hear the faint, distant echoes of those screams. They didn't find the Earth's mantle. They found something that was never meant to be heard. 4. The Duplessis Orphans. Our final case takes us to Quebec, Canada, where over 20,000 healthy orphans were betrayed by the state and the church for profit. At the time, psychiatric hospitals received more funding than orphanages. To get that money, the government and the church conspired to reclassify thousands of children as mentally deficient or insane overnight. This allowed orphanages to be converted into asylums, tripling their government subsidies. Once inside, these children became lab rats. They were subjected to experimental drugs, electroshock therapy, and even lobotomies to study treatments for mental illness they never had. Many were worked like slaves and kept in cages. Decades later, hidden unmarked graveyards were discovered near the former asylums. Hundreds of children who died from abuse, their bodies sold to medical schools for dissection. The survivors are known as the Duplessis Orphans, victims of a system that valued government checks over human lives. These 4 cases remind us that when science loses its morality, it becomes a weapon. Most of these folders were marked top secret to protect the men in power from the consequences of their own cruelty. But the truth has a way of coming out, whether it's buried 12 kilometers deep or hidden in an unmarked grave. Which of these cases shocked you the most? Do you believe the sounds from the Kola borehole were real? Let me know your theories in the comments. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. Stay curious, and stay safe.